Hey, welcome back everybody. So here it is, Sunday, July 14th, right after 11 o'clock. Temperature is about 88 degrees, humidity 72%, and the heat index is 103. So hey, I'm out here to do some very specific things, which are checking on hives 2, 8, and 13, which if you didn't catch the previous video, which I think was a look at late June, those 3 hives, well, pretty much determined they were queenless. And in fact, 13, the hive in the very last position over here, they had a laying worker. So to recap, I moved 2 frames from number 12 into number 2. I essentially split number 9 into number 8. I moved 4 frames from 9 to 8, and I did the same for 13 using number 10. So let's go take a look down the line to show you what's what. So there's number 12. They have decent activity, but you never know until you get into them. Not much of a concern. Really, the concern is number 2 there. So I need to check on them, which there's a brick on the side of the hive that was kind of throwing me off for a second. So I wonder why I moved the brick off the hive. It should be on top, but anyway, I don't really have much to do today, so I'll get into them and take a look. Or in fact, maybe I moved, yeah, that's what I did. I moved the queen. I should have moved the queen down to number 2, leaving number 12 queenless. Either way, something to check on between number 12 and number 2. And then down on this side of the yard, since I don't remember that side, or I remember this side clearly. So number 8 was looking pretty bad. They had really no population of bees. So essentially I split number 9 there into number 8 to include frames from the top box, which had a lot of food. So number 8, we'll see, should be looking good, or at least better. And then number 13, like I said, I know for a fact I remember that one because they had a laying worker. So I moved half of those frames over into number 10, and it's just a matter of getting into them and seeing if they rectify their situation in the last 3 weeks. So here's to hoping, but we're about to pop some tops and take a closer look for a mid-July inspection. All right, down here in number 2, and check this out. So I have not fed the hive since June 10th, I believe. Look at all that capped honey. And then on this side, let me move the camera, but wet cells in mid-July. So if you didn't notice from the thumbnail and then some of the B-roll footage, we have a lot of fields very, very close to this bee yard that are growing soybeans. And quite honestly, I wasn't sure if soybeans produced any sort of nectar or pollen that honeybees could benefit from. But after doing some reading last night, the Ohio University did a study within the last few years that determined soybeans were actually a beneficial food source for honeybees. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And when I say there's fields pretty close, actually I'll share a picture here from Google Maps. They are, no kidding, a half mile from us. All right, so this is frame number 3. I know you won't be able to see this, maybe, maybe not, but there are a ton of eggs in these open cells. And I'm pretty confident, so this frame and the next frame have a green dot on top. So I'm pretty confident I moved, like I said in the introduction, I moved 2 frames over from another hive, and it looks like they have a laying queen, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to slow down here a little bit, go through the rest of the frames, and just make an effort to try and find her. If I find her, I'll show that to you, get her marked, released, and then that's it for number 2 for mid-July. Alright, I just finished up going through the frames one time. I just wanted to show y'all this frame. So this is frame number 6. Beautiful brood pattern. And honestly, I don't know if that's from the previous queen or the current queen. It's really hard to tell, considering I moved a few frames over from another colony 3 weeks ago. It's hard to tell. I mean, it's very possible that could be from the current queen, because all that capped brood obviously hasn't hatched yet, which hatches around week number 3. So if they raised a queen very quickly, she made it return, start laying, this could be her brood. It's just hard to say. But anyway, I just wanted to show you all that. I did not find her. She could be in the top box. But honestly, the fact that they have eggs, that is really all I'm checking for. And then maybe next weekend, so about the 3rd week of July, I'll go through and really make it a point to try and find her. But for now, I am completely satisfied that they have signs that they're queen right. Sometimes you gotta settle for the signs. You don't have to find her every single time. It's fun, believe me. I enjoy it, especially marking them, so that way I know I have a marked queen for the next inspection. But is it necessary to find her every time? It's not. But okay, number 2, I'm gonna say they are queen right. Down here at number 12, and sure enough, she's small. She might be a virgin queen. I'm just gonna put everything back together. I found her on frame number 5. Yeah, right there. So she may have just hatched from that cell right there. This is pretty cool to see. Yeah, that might be a virgin queen we're looking at right there on the bottom of the frame. So I'm just gonna put that back, put everything back together, and check on them in about a week. In about a week's time, her abdomen should be a lot bigger, assuming she hasn't made it yet. And they should have eggs by the 3rd week of July. So, all right, that was pretty cool to find her. Now it's just a matter of giving them a little more time. But they seem to be moving in the right direction. All right, just a quick first look at number 8. Again, we used number 9 to get number 8 right. Essentially made a split. Just like the previous hives, I'm out here to see if they've made a queen and they're queen right. So remove the feeder, go through the frames, and see what we can find out here in a second. Alright, I'm just finishing up a second pass on number 8. No real brood to speak of. The very little bit of capped brood that's hatching is probably from the frames I moved over from the other queen, from number 9's queen. So this is what I'm thinking about doing. I think I'm just gonna end up moving this deep box onto number 9, combining them, letting number 9's queen really move freely between the 2 boxes, build up some brood frames, and then split them probably around maybe in August or so. So I'm just going to get them put back together so I can get into number 9, see what they have going on, and if they're still queen right, which I imagine they are, I'm just going to combine the 2 deep boxes like I said, give them a few weeks, and then split them. All right, yeah, no doubt number 9's queen right. This is frame number 4. To all the sides surrounding that capped brood, small larvae and eggs, which is exactly what you want to see. So, all right, I might pull 1 or 2 more frames just out of curiosity, but I'm gonna end up combining number 8's deep box onto number 9. And I think, yeah, I think with a queen like number 9, They can use that extra space. The boost of bees will help as well. Tend to all the new brood, and then just make a split in August and just be sure to feed them pretty heavily. But yeah, number 9 is queen right, so I'm just going to combine these two and that'll be it. Number 8's top box really doesn't have much going on at all, so I think I'm just going to set that aside, and any little brood that's left in there, or not brood but food, any little food that's left in there, I just let the bees rob it out. It's pretty light, so not too much to be concerned with, quite frankly. And then I'll add number 9's top box back. It's somewhat light, but the queen could be up there as well. All right, good time of year to combine some hives, and with the intent to make some splits if you can. All right, you guessed it. Down here at number 13, which is the hive in the very last position. And like I said in the introduction, I basically split number 10 and number 13 because 13 had a laying worker 3 weeks ago. So moved half of the frames, which was 4 of them, from 13 to 10 and 10 to 13. And I'm really hoping to find some eggs or brood this time around. So wish me luck. I'll share anything worth sharing, of course, but then take a second to see if they've become queen right. All right, just like any hive, if I'm unsure if they have a queen, I'll go through them twice, and I just finished that up, but it does not look like number 13 has fixed their situation. Unfortunately, yeah, it seems like they weren't able to make any queens from the frames that I provided. So with that said, I'm gonna end up combining them with, I think number 12 or number 17. And my thought was, the hive that I've used a few times now to get other hives queen right, I'm thinking number 12 or 17. I'll let y'all know here in a second, but yeah, unfortunately looks like I'll be combining this one with one of those two for the same purposes as the previous hive, just to give whatever colony I add this box to, 17 or 12, I'm sure the queen will make quick use of the additional space. And then in a matter of 2 weeks, maybe early August, give or take, just check on them and then split them again if they have a ton of frames with nice eggs and young larvae that basically making a walkaway split or an intentional split, right, to move 13 down to its original spot here without a queen, and then over the next few weeks seeing if they raise their own queen. But yeah, it happens. But I've also come to learn it's better to combine a hive than lose a hive. So keep that in mind if you find yourself in a similar situation. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move them down to, I think both of those hives that I mentioned are singles, so that's kind of easy. And 12 has a very young queen, so I think 17 may have had a red marked queen, so from last year. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna combine 13 and 17. That's the decision I'm gonna come up with. But before I turn off the camera, let's go check real quick. And 20's a single, 12's a single, 17 has a medium box. I actually might pop the top on 20 real quick just to give them a look, and if they have some really nice looking brood, and if I find the queen, fantastic, but if they have signs they're queen right, I'm just gonna move 13 down here on top of 20. I was really trying to pick some of the single deeps that I have. Which one is this? 19. Nothing really comes to mind with them. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe 20. That was one of the most recent swarms I caught. Yeah, I just popped the lid on 20, and they have a pretty healthy looking amount of bees. So just gonna take a quick look, of course, before I do anything, because it only takes a few minutes to look versus operating blindly and causing more problems, right? Oh man, I remember this one. Yeah, check this out. Golly. I don't know what they're getting into, but they're making some really nice food frames. Let's take a look at this one together too. And let's look around the brood. Oh yeah, they're queen right. She is doing a fantastic job. All right, easy decision. Let me grab number 13. Simply just add them on top of number 20 here and call it a day. All right, it's as simple as that. I've been wanting to add another box to some of the single deeps anyway, and this might not be a bad way to go about it. And then just make some splits later in the fall if need be. All right, there we go. All right, just to recap real quick. So it's 12:15, been out here for maybe an hour, and I am done. Number 12, found what looks like a virgin queen, which is why I left the brick on top and at an angle, which is a new and different reminder for me. So by the time I check on them in another week or two, I should definitely see some eggs, and if I happen to find her, her abdomen should be a lot bigger. And then moving down here, or actually if we backtrack a little bit, yeah, I ended up, as y'all saw at the very end, combined number 13 with 20, determined 13 did not rectify their situation and make a queen. And then moving on down here, ended up combining number 8 with number 9 for the same reason. I did not get into number 10. As y'all saw, 13 is down on top of 20 now, after popping the lid on number 20, quickly determining they are doing absolutely fantastic. So I'm very confident number 20's queen and colony can use the extra space, which I planned on doing soon anyway, but in the form of a new medium box, meaning a medium box with new foundation. So it would take them a lot of resources and work to draw that out. But since I added number 13, which has 8 frames, out of those 8, I think 6 have drawn comb, the queen should definitely be able to move up into the top box very quickly, immediately, start laying the colony, raise those bees, and that population should take off pretty soon. So I have not seen a double deep in this yard in a long time, let alone a double deep with a medium box on top. So it looks impressive. That's actually where I'm trying to transition back to for next year, but kind of getting ahead of myself. The plan is to add a lot of boxes that have new foundation to the majority of the hives, start feeding them very heavy around August and September, and just giving them time while nothing's in bloom, giving them time to really draw out all that foundation. And then I'll have to make a decision how I'll overwinter the colonies, because for many years the majority of the hives you see here with a single deep and a medium, that's how I've overwintered, and it's been successful. So medium box is just less than a deep box, so it's almost like giving them 2 deeps but just a little less space. But anyway, I'm definitely not going to overwinter like this. That's just way too much space for my location. But I might overwinter with 2 deeps. It's all up in the air if you can't tell. All right, hey, thanks for watching everybody. Cole's Farm here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I may have said this in the last video, but if you're watching the video at this point, because they do get kind of long, 1, I appreciate it. If you hit the like button, that's awesome. If you subscribe, that's even better. Doesn't cost you anything. Doesn't really put a lot of money in our pocket at all. I make pennies a day on our YouTube channel. I really do it out of passion, sharing how I keep bees with anybody that's interested in watching, in an effort to just share my perspective and methods and techniques. And if it helps you, fantastic. I'm open to criticism. Just share that in your comments. Be polite, you know, being kind goes a long ways. You don't have to be rude to get your point across. You can simply share a thought on what I'm doing versus what you're doing, and I don't know, maybe we can discuss our thoughts on different techniques and see how different people keep bees in different parts of the country. But hey, if you're looking for any local and raw honey, you're in luck because we still have some left from our May harvest. Just get in touch with us. If you go up to the banner on YouTube, of course, you'll see our Linktree link. Click on that, click on purchase local honey, and then we sell all of our honey through the Square site. So you can make an appointment as early as 2 hours in advance all the way up to a week. Just pick a day and time, Monday through Sunday, actually 7 days a week, 9 to 5. Pick a day and a time that works for you. You pay through the site, and then most of the time we'll leave our honey on our front porch due to our work schedules, but if we are available and home when you come by to pick it up, we'll come out and meet you. Thanks again for everybody that's purchased honey this year. Again, you can find it at Grants Creek Nursery, at the Northwoods Urban Farm over on Henderson, and at Mike's Farm. I'm still waiting for the blend to get back to me to see if they want to keep some in stock, but I think that'd be pretty cool to see our honey over there. All right, hey, thanks for watching, everybody. You know the drill. One last drive-by of the colonies. But yeah, hey, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate the views and subscribers. And like always, we'll see you next time.